is compared with the triumphalism of Copenhagen and Poznan and Bali, the previous 3 years, the annual jamborees at taxpayers' expense all around the world at exotic locations. What we're getting here is a much more sullen, sober, even somber mood. People here are beginning to realize they aren't going to get away with this for very much longer. And so, contrary to the reports that you have seen in the newspapers about how nothing very much is going to happen here in Cancun, the bureaucracy, which is trying desperately to turn itself into a world government, having failed to do so when the World Government Treaty at Copenhagen was simply thrown out. Now they're trying to do it by stealth with a series of decisions at this conference, which the chairman of the conference, I've seen her note on this, thinks they're going to get away with, creating several hundred new bureaucracies, $100 billion per year from now and forever from the wealthy nations of the West to be paid to the new world government. And this will go up to 1.5% of GDP if one of the options on the paper is adopted, which it may well be, giving this new world government a permanent revenue which will permanently grow as GDP grows. So we're looking at a really ambitious power grab by the nasty people who are behind this scare. And I'm quite worried they may yet get away with it. I think they are going to get away with most of what I've just described here. And once they've got it, it'll be like the EU. Give them the money and give them the power, and then they become unstoppable, and they'll get more money and more power until they run anything. And, of course, not one of these people is elected by us, the peoples of the world. It is all a dictatorship which is gradually taking power from democratic nations and from the leaders and elected representatives of those nations and putting it into the hands of faithless bureaucrats who we cannot elect, cannot question, cannot hold to account, cannot remove, and cannot replace.
Okay, now going back in past years, they were arrogant, they were celebratory, they would, you have these huge parties, they were the saviors of the earth. Now they're becoming a global laughingstock. But as you said, they're now burrowing down, realizing their time is short, everything that's invested in this, and they're trying to get it through. But last year, you were instrumental in helping distribute the Danish text, in analyzing it. The Third World learned that it would basically double the amount of taxes that they had to pay versus the West. It wasn't the freebie giveaway, that it was a death sentence to over 1 billion people cutting their energy. It's now admitted this is about shutting down industrialized societies. So how are they trying to ram this through? What is in the different texts that you've been able to see? Are there any secret treaties like last time? Give us the intel, Lord Monckton.
What they've done this time is they've done what one of the senior officials here, who also doesn't believe a word of this, as I say, there's a growing kind of rift in the loop now. You can see more and more people getting ready to jump ship as they see it going glug, glug, glug down beneath the waves. But one of them said, he said, what they're going for is an approach called transparent impenetrability. And what this means is that everything I've just described to you, this extra money and the extra bureaucracies, they're all listed, they're all specified in the documents which are openly available and which nobody, including the delegates, actually reads. The note by the chair on the expected outcome of this conference, which is one I'm basing things on, because that's likely to be right. They've had several preliminary conferences, first in Bonn, then in Tianjin in China last month, to prepare for this one. So they pretty well all knew where they were going when they got here. So the chairman's note is a pretty good guide to what is actually going to happen. But get this, it's 33 pages long. It's written in the most obscurantist, obfuscatory, obnubilating style, which is enough to send anybody to sleep. And unless you know what the code words mean, you've never realized just how much of an expansion of centralized, undemocratic power this whole exercise is. For instance, let me give you an example. You wanted me to quote from these documents. They use a phrase called improving capacity building in the least developed and less well-developed countries. And you think, That sounds wonderful. So you go and you talk to a few of the UN officials who draw up this garbage, and you say, what does capacity building mean? And it's nothing to do with industrial capacity or economic capacity or the capacity to live a civilized life or educational capacity or health capacity. No, it's bureaucratic capacity. What capacity building means in these documents is that there are going to be vast bureaucracies established in these less developed countries which will come directly under the control of our new masters, the Secretariat of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. That's what capacity building means. It occurs all the way through the treaties. It sounds wonderful when you read it. You think, oh, wow, I'm really doing some good for the third world here. All we're doing is putting in bureaucracies to govern them.
Yeah, to rule them under the new neo-feudalism, the environmental iron fist. Stay with us, Lord Monckton. Back after this quick break.
Attention GCN listeners, do you have a Patriot on your Christmas list that's nearly impossible to shop for? How would you like the ability to get top-of-the-line, hard-to-find gifts at equally hard-to-beat prices without leaving the comfort of your home? Why fight the crowd? Simply log on to your computer for great gifts and deals for the off-the-grid enthusiast in your family. At offthegridchristmas.com, you'll find great prices on the most popular off-the-grid gifts available today. At offthegridchristmas.com, you'll find unbeatable deals on emergency backup power, herb and vegetable seeds, dehydrated foods, emergency evacuation packs, solar ovens, gun safes, and a host of truly unique stocking stuffers. In these hard times, why not give a gift that really counts? A gift that could truly make a difference. Go to offthegridchristmas.com and our Christmas video highlighting perfect gifts for the off-the-grid fans in your family. Unbeatable gear, unbeatable prices, no more searching. Offthegridchristmas.com. That's offthegridchristmas.com.
You may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
When making important financial decisions, you should always know the facts. That's why Midas Resources is willing to pay you to read the facts. Midas Resources, a team of hand-picked financial specialists with decades of financial experience who are ready to provide you with state-of-the-art, up-to-date financial services. Midas Resources offers a host of services and stands behind their products. In fact, if you call and order their free Midas report, Midas Resources will pay you. This detailed report will provide you with financial history on the safest and most profitable areas to invest in. If you read the report, Midas Resources will send you a free Walking Liberty silver $50. So what are you waiting for? Get the facts and call Midas Resources toll free at 888-292-2709. That's 888-292-2709. And remember, if you read the Midas report, you'll receive a free Walking Liberty silver $50.
Men, take control of your prostate health without the risk of nasty side effects with Prostate Secure. Early detection, regular prostate exams, and PSA tests are a must for men over 40. Listen, if you have symptoms of an enlarged prostate but don't want to take a drug with possible nasty side effects, or if you're over 40, then use Prostate Secure, a natural dietary supplement for men. Prostate Secure is a scientifically formulated blend of clinically significant amounts of natural ingredients. It brings together the most powerful plant sterols like beta-sitosterol and saw palmetto, along with antioxidants such as vitamin D3, resveratrol, and lycopene to support good prostate health, proper urinary flow, function, and more. Check out prostatesecure.com. Order online and save 10% with promo code SAVE10 or call 1-800-239-9432. That's 800-239-9432. Or visit prostatesecure.com. Take control of your prostate health naturally with Prostate Secure.
sending out an SOS against tyranny. Ted Turner, third biggest landowner in the world, behind the Queen of England and Dutch royalty. He owns 2 million acres in the U.S. He has 5 children. He has more than 20 aircraft, more than a dozen homes. He flies in on his private jet and then lectures us we shouldn't take a hot shower, we shouldn't have more than one child, we shouldn't take a hot bath. People all over England, old people being cut off their gas allowance or having to ride around in buses to stay warm, The Guardian reports. But there's plenty of gas and power for all the rich people in the U.S. and England that stand to make money off the carbon tax. Lord Monckton, I heard that you've been trying to track down Mr. Eugenics, Mr. Green Himmler, hair Ted Turner.
Yes, absolutely. The Graf von und zu Turner, he was attending a business conference at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel a couple of days ago here on the sandy strip at Cancun, and I gate-crashed the conference and went around it for a bit until eventually the organizers came along and chased me out. And they said, you're not allowed in here. The only people who are allowed into this conference are people who believe that global warming is the worstest possible problem ever in the world. And you're not allowed in. It was sort of baby talk they used. And I said, but I want to meet Mr. Turner. I'd like to issue a challenge to him. I'd like to provide some entertainment for the delegates here by having a one-to-one debate with him in front of them. Or is he going to run away and are you going to run away? He said, no, sir, you're going to run away. We don't want your sort here. So clearly, there is a reluctance on the part of Mr. Turner to face the amiable peer of the realm, Lord Monckton, on a debate about the climate. And why might that be? Well, I suspect it's the same reason, Ted Baby, as Al Baby. When I threatened to debate him, I sent a challenge to Al Gore. He also backed off. In fact, he's been backing off and running away for nearly 4 years now. So, Ted, if you're going to join the run, join the panic, join the escape, then you just avoid debating with me face to face. I'll debate with you, Ted Baby, anywhere in the world, on international television, and we'll take any format of debate that you like, as long as it's reasonably fair, and then you and I will go head-to-head, and we'll argue this thing out, and let's see who prevails. Now, Alex, what I would advise is whatever you do, don't hold your breath waiting for a reply from Ted Turner, any more than you would have done if you'd waited for a reply from Al Gore. I'm beginning to run out of white feathers on my estate to send to these people who are backing out of this debate because they know perfectly well, just as the delegates here, many of them privately are now admitting they know perfectly well, that there is no global warming problem. It is simply a chimera. It is simply a device used by people who have other agendas which are extremely nasty. Here we are effectively trying to reinstall global fascism, having just got rid of it in Europe. Now here we are reinstalling global fascism in the name of saving the planet. And as you and I know, Alex, the planet was triumphantly saved 2,000 years ago, and it doesn't need to be saved again.
Expanding on that, James Cameron issued challenges to leading global warming skeptics, and then when leading one step forward, he chickened out. They will not debate it, and they know deep down it's an excuse to have a managed takeover economy. A lot of them are on record admitting that. What percentage of the higher-ups know it's a complete fraud? I mean, we know from their internal emails they know it's a fraud and that they've got to hide the truth. But, I mean, what percentage of them know it's a fraud, and then you've got the people in polar bear outfits running around. I mean, I see more and more of the camp followers realizing they were on some type of Jim Jones cult compound.
That's a very good description of this place. I must say it is a very curious religion. Let's start with your point about whether the higher-ups know what's really going on, that they know that there isn't a problem. Let me give you an example. At last year's Copenhagen conference, one of my colleagues here, Wolfgang Müller, from the German division of the Committee for a Constructive Tomorrow, which I represent here at this conference, he was standing next to one of the two delegates, official delegates from Pakistan, which is one of the states parties to the convention. And the other delegate was up on the stage speaking about how terrible it all was. We were having floods, we were having droughts, and we were having this, and we were having that. It was all ghastly, and it was all because of our fault. And quietly the other delegate said, he knows, and I know, that there's not a word of truth in any of that, and that the whole of this thing is just nonsense, but we've been